നിന്റെ മേലിൽ
ഹലോ
ഇത്
സുധിര പറ. ഹലോ. എല്ലാം സെറ്റാണ്. പക്ഷേ ഈ ലൈവിന് നമ്മൾ മെയിൽ അയച്ചിട്ടുള്ളതില് കുറച്ച് ആൾക്കാർക്ക് കിട്ടിയിട്ടില്ല പറയണു. അപ്പൊ രണ്ടാമത് അയച്ച സെറ്റ് മൊത്തം സ്പാമിൽ പോയിട്ടോ ഡൗട്ട് ഉണ്ട്. അപ്പൊ ഞാനൊന്ന് റീസെൻഡ് ചെയ്യാണ്. ആ 9:00 സ്റ്റാർട്ട് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റും. സാധനങ്ങളൊക്കെ ഓൺ ആണ് ഓൾറെഡി. ആ ശരി. 23 ആയിട്ടുള്ളൂ. 25 വരെ ഞാൻ ട്രൈ ചെയ്യും. ഓക്കെ. ഓക്കെ.
Good evening to everyone. I am Sujit. Welcome to the first day of Taiwan Career and Education Webinar Series 2021. The webinar is organized by Taiwan Malayali Association, cooperating with Sacred Heart College, Tevara, and educational consultant Mentors for You. The aim of this webinar series is to make awareness about the study and career opportunities in Taiwan. The speakers are discussing both about the educational opportunities, then criteria and educational qualifications need to meet for starting career in Taiwan. Before starting the webinar, I am welcoming Dr. Susan Zakaria for giving a short introduction about Taiwan Malayali Association. She is the Vice President of Taiwan Malayali Association. Welcome, Dr. Susan.
Thank you, Dr. Sujit, for the brief introduction. Good evening, all. I'm Susan Zakaria, working in Taiwan. I'm here since 2016. There are many Indians who live in Taiwan for education and employment. We used to gather together for Indian festivals and other occasions in the banner of different associations, say Taiwan Malayali Association, Tamil Sangam, Taiwan Telugu Association, and many other regional associations. I am here representing Taiwan Malayali Association, which is a platform that brings together all Malayalis in Taiwan. We used to conduct programs like Onam, Christmas, Kerala Piravi, Vishu, and other sports events in an average of at least 3 gatherings per year. Prospective students can approach TMA for the follow-ups regarding this webinar. I strongly believe that this webinar will be helpful for one and all joined here. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Susan. Actually, today we have two speakers. Our first speaker is Mr. Freddie Francis. Today he is talking about the internship, master's and PhD admissions in Taiwan. Currently, he is a PhD student in National Tsinghua University, Taiwan. He completed his master's from Cochin University of Science and Technology and bachelor's from St. Thomas College, Thrissur. He is an academic consultant and YouTuber. He is specializing in technology, science, and education through his channel, Sci-Writers. Here we are starting the webinar. The presentation will be for 15 to 20 minutes, and after that 30 minutes question and answer section. You can type your questions below the live streaming after 10 minutes of starting the webinar. Here I am inviting Mr. Freddie Francis for delivering his speech. Thank you. Welcome, Freddie.
Thank you, Dr. Sujit, for the introduction. When I came to Taiwan 6 years ago, I never could have imagined that I'll be delivering a talk on Taiwan and Taiwan education system to an audience like this. In this Taiwan Career and Education webinar series, I'll be talking about the admissions to Taiwan universities, which opens up a door towards higher education. A small nation in the Western Pacific, Taiwan has emerged as a vibrant powerhouse in the world economy. It has secured a leading role in numerous industries worldwide, particularly on the IT front. Many people are confused about Thailand and Taiwan. I would like to present a brief introduction. Taiwan is an Asian country which is near to the Chinese coast, and the neighboring countries are Japan, Vietnam, and Philippines, as you can see in the map. You can see Thailand, Indonesia, and India marked in the map as well. The area of Taiwan is quite small, which is 3,600 square kilometers, and the population is 23 million. The languages here is Mandarin, Taiwanese, Hakka, and indigenous languages. Time zone is Taipei time zone, which is GMT plus 8 hours, which is 2.5 hours ahead of Indian Standard Time. The currency in Taiwan is New Taiwan dollars, and the exchange rate approximately is 2.6 as of now. The electric supply system is 110 volts at 60 hertz and have additional 220 volt sockets for air conditioners. But most of the daily use equipment use 110 volt supply. Taiwan enjoys warm weather all year round. Weather conditions fluctuate during spring and winter, while in summer and autumn, the winter is relatively stable. The average temperature is 28 degrees in summer and 17 degrees during the winter. About an education system in Taiwan. In Taiwan's current education system, students may study for up to 20 years. So 6 years of primary education, 3 years of junior high school, 3 years of senior secondary school, and 4 years of undergraduate program for a bachelor degree, in which there will be a research program incorporated as well. Some universities require the students to complete an internship for this. It can be a paid internship or an unpaid one. As internships are an income source and a gateway to companies, many students prefer internships. As a forward, I would like to see that they are not a shortcut to work in the label of studying, and there are strict rules to regulate them. There were many cases in which foreign students were being tricked into getting to these internships by paying a large sum of money to agents or education consultants. 1 to 4 years of a postgraduate program, master degree. The master program in Taiwan is more or less like the MPhil course in India and incorporates pure research project. As master programs in India are considered, a student can qualify their master's degree merely by studying or doing a name-check project in at least some cases. But here, the completion of a project is important and is a major requirement for completion of course and may delay the graduation. I'm not saying this to instill some sort of fear, but explain the program requirements. The PhD program may vary from 2 to 7 years, and if you are very talented, you can graduate in 2 years, and sometimes it can be as long as 7 years per regulation, or even more depending upon your project and research guide. There are 163 plus universities in Taiwan, comprising private and national universities. They are divided into universities, tertiary colleges, universities of science and technology, and technical colleges. After introducing the educational system in Taiwan, I would like to invite your attention why you would do your higher education in Taiwan. A small nation in the Western Pacific, Taiwan has emerged as a vibrant powerhouse in the world economy, as I told earlier. It has secured a leading role in numerous industries worldwide, particularly in the IT front. To keep the country's higher education competitive, Taiwan pays now investment, and it's aware of many other countries which are funneling much more resources towards their higher education sectors. So over the past 5 years, Taiwan has set large incentives for universities to further upgrade their quality of research and teaching. And a good number of them have made big strides and even become forefront in various global appraisals. Under government's performance-oriented initiative, the more outstanding a university proves itself, the more subsidies it can get. In Taiwan, students can pursue higher learning at 2-year and 5-year junior colleges as well as universities and colleges. Like in many other countries, university undergraduate programs require 4 years of study, internships from 6 months to 2 years that are sometimes required. Graduate programs leading to master degree requires 1 to 4 years, and those for a doctorate 2 to 7 years, as we have discussed earlier. So Ministry of Education have collaborated with local universities and colleges to set up higher education standards, and institution evaluations are aimed at determining if universities have carried out their respective development plans, and targeting the individual departments of universities and colleges. Program evaluations focus on their faculty, teaching, research, and services. Furthermore, the Ministry of Education urges local universities to secure the accreditation of various international institutions. So there are 163 plus universities, colleges, and junior colleges in Taiwan. Technology tops the list when students of Taiwan choose a field of study as their academic specialization. As Taiwanese universities become increasingly geared towards the general public, faculty reform is regarded as a crucial link. Currently, more than 80% of the faculties at Taiwanese universities hold doctoral degrees. This resulted from the 14% jump over the past decade. Furthermore, a third of collective faculty is accounted for by professors. As far as the quality of university faculty is concerned, Taiwan is generally recognized to be superior to China and Hong Kong. So international focus, technological advancement has all but removed the boundaries dividing nations and markets. Today's the university students, like most of the people who are watching this webinar, are thus granted mobility, virtually unthinkable for their predecessors just generations ago. To help students broaden their international horizons and familiarize themselves with other cultures, a total of 34 universities in Taiwan have entered into joint dual degree partnerships with international counterparts. Joint dual degree students are allowed to study at two separate locations to earn their degrees. Most universities now require students to pass accreditation of their English competence upon graduation. Meanwhile, a growing number of universities are offering English taught courses and programs, which is surely a practice beneficial to international and local students alike. The past several years have seen significant increase in number of international scholars and students who come to Taiwan for visits and studies. Over the past 5 years, the number of international students in pursuit of an academic degree in Taiwan has raised up to 91% and is because of the subsidizing enrollment of international students. Taiwan's IT industry weighs heavily on the world, but it is more important to recruit the best talent from around the world to keep its innovation going. As such, the Ministry of Education joined forces with the industry and academy to devise the Industrial Technology R&D Master Program, a curriculum aimed specifically at international students. After earning their degree, they can go on to work to the companies participating in the program. So, launching a TIGP program. So, I would like to say something about TIGP program, and one of my friends will be having an elaborate talk on that one. So, it's conducted by Academia Sinica, which is the most prominent academic research institute in Taiwan. Several of its academicians are Nobel laureates. To help to grow interdisciplinary talent, several higher education universities in Taiwan joined their hands with Sinica to launch the TIGP. So over the years, TIGP students have accumulated a proven track record. Upon graduation, many of them have been recruited by some of the world's best-known research institutions and major biotechnology ventures, as well as Academia Sinica in various research units. So, as per the admission, a good number of universities and colleges in Taiwan welcome international applicants. Applicants can choose a school based on their personal interests and the courses offered. Students who want to apply for undergraduate, graduate, and doctoral programs can do so all the year around. The deadline for new semester submission varies from school to school, but it usually falls in March. Likewise, tuition for international students are left to the discretion of universities and colleges. And please note that each institution has its own requirements and standards to determine whether applicants are qualified for admission. Only applicants found to be qualified through review or special screening tests will be granted admission. Students shall produce a proof of medical and personal accident insurance or NHI, which is National Health Insurance, at the time of registration. So new students can come here and register it later. That also is possible. So most universities in Taiwan offer exchange programs with their duration varying from school to school. International students interested in pursuing studies in Taiwan are encouraged to make inquiries about such programs at their own schools. And Taiwan is an ideal place for international students to learn Mandarin, which is the official language of the country. So students who want to take Chinese courses can apply to any of the 35 Chinese language centers at local universities and colleges. While most institutions accept their applications all the year around, some of them will be accepting in a time of a particular academic year. There are usually 4 terms like spring, summer, fall, and winter. So Taiwan Scholarship, Huayu Enrichment Scholarship, Short-Term Research Award are the main scholarship for studies and will be dealt in detail by Kavya on the second session of the webinar on 24th January. So please make your seats secured. So for an admissions eligibility criteria, there will be some kind of English level test. As you all know, Taiwan is a Chinese-speaking country. English is somewhat recognized. So if you want to join a school, the school will be asking you for English level test, which is IELTS or TOEFL. But still, there are many schools who doesn't make this mandatory. You can come here, join academic course for English, and then later move on to your graduation period. And graduations, which means if you want to join a bachelor's program, you'll have to pass class 12. And if you want to join master's program, you'll have to pass your bachelor's. And if you want to join PhD, you can apply with your master's diploma. And some programs have some specific program requirements like a programming skill or some other courses as an eligibility criteria. So they also will be applied. So the documents needed for applying to Taiwanese universities is an online application form, which I will explain a little bit later. A photocopy of your diploma in English or Chinese. So for us, actually, it's in English. So diploma means your certificate, your degree certificate. That is fine. And official transcripts, which are markless in English or Chinese, of course, in English. A statement of purpose, which is a study plan. 2 recommendation letters from your professors who can vouch for you or your skills. A financial certificate, which is kind of proof that you can afford the education in Taiwan, which will be around 4,000 US dollars in bank. You can get a bank certificate for that. A declaration form, which is a printout of declaration, which is a printout of your online application form. Verification of nationality, which is your passport, and an application fee of around 3,000 Taiwan dollars. So there are many universities who doesn't charge any application fee for application. For my case, actually, when I came here, there was no application fee, but my university have started charging for applications too. So moving on to the general admission procedure, I would like to say to create an online account in university application system, fill out the online form, print the online form and other generated forms from the system, upload all the application requirements, confirm and submit all application requirements before the due date. So money is an integral part of the studies, and the cost of study in Taiwan is approximately around 3,000 to 4,000 US dollars per year, and is provided mainly by university scholarships and other scholarships, which will be explained in the presentation which I have mentioned earlier. And as the project income is a salary paid by professors from their research funding. It can be as high as 4,000 to 40,000 NT dollars per month. The 4,000 payment will help you to pay the dormitory rent, but the 40,000 will be a savings as well. So the expenses should be taken in account while selecting your grade or selecting your laboratory so that you can live here. So next is the main question, whom to approach. So there are 2 options for an admission in Taiwan. One is to directly apply to the university, come here, select professors or lab, and join for your research or courses. So, like in the other words, actually, you can send a request to professors personally, get their approval, and then apply. So that your professors will put some word for you in the university admission system, and you can get an admission much more faster and secure. So your friends can also help you to get introduced to professors. So that's the end of my presentation. Thank you so much for listening. And this is not the end. You can approach any of the Malayali students or Indian students who are here for much instructions regarding this, or you can comment on the video so that we can make a separate video on this. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Freddy, for your informative presentation. Now we can start the question and answer section. Actually, we received plenty of questions previously also in email and in WhatsApp. Now some people are asking the questions in YouTube streaming also. Actually, the first question, that is a very interesting question. Do you know how to write in Chinese? That question to you.
Yeah, that's an interesting question. Thank you so much for asking. Actually, my Chinese education started when I came here, and I had to apply for a course which is 4 and 4 credits. That's like in 1 year I have to earn 8 credits in Chinese to qualify my PhD. So I went to those courses and started learning Chinese pretty well. And me and Sujit were classmates in Chinese class, and we were somewhat kind of able to write Chinese. But as the 1 year passed, we didn't, not at least me, I didn't keep back up on this one, and I lost my writing skills. But still, I can understand basic Chinese words. I can go to market and buy things. Yeah, my writing skill is very bad, but still I can understand Chinese and somewhat manage day-to-day tasks. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, next question. I'm working in optical sensors research area. How can I apply for postdoc in Taiwan?
Oh, postdocs in Taiwan. So I would like, I think we have many questions regarding postdoc opportunities in Taiwan. I would like to address them together. So in Taiwan, actually, if you are a postdoctoral fellow, if you're applying for a postdoc position, there are two ways. You can either apply directly to your preferred guide, and so that he can take you in via his project, or otherwise you can apply by the Ministry of Science and Technology website, in which the postdoc opportunities are displayed. You can apply through that place too. Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Actually, next question is very interesting. Like, I did my humanities plus two some years back. Now I want to do electronic engineering undergraduate in Taiwan. Is it possible?
Mm, I'm going to address that question in two parts.
Okay.
First thing is whether you can get an admission, and second part is whether you can do it or not. So in Taiwanese education system, in junior high school, the topics are not really separated. So students can choose many topics, and having, like in class 12, they can take many topics and up to their interest. But in India, actually, the subjects are divided into groups, and the humanities group doesn't study any science subjects as well. Maybe statistics or basic mathematics here. So if you join the electronics engineering, you will be having a lot of science subjects coming in which you have been touched in last 2 years. So getting an admission here is okay, because Taiwan system says it's okay to get admitted from class 12. They will consider the class 12 in Taiwan and class 12 in India, and they will give you the admission. But passing the course, that's a different story. I think it's pretty much difficult to qualify the course. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Freddie. Next question is like, which is the best university in Taiwan for a PhD in material science field?
In material science, many Taiwanese universities have very high like positions, and the best university I would suggest is National Tsinghua University or National Taiwan University. So these universities, along with National Southern University, actually the material science, chemical engineering, chemistry, all those fields are very intermingled here. So if you really want to go for material science research, you can look into profiles of the professors in all these departments: chemistry, chemical engineering, material science and engineering, or even photonics, so that there are many people working on these things, or even nanomaterials department. So all these universities will be having different departments, different professors working on materials engineering. So you can join any universities. That's fine. Yeah, and joining for a PhD exactly depends upon the professors. So you'll have to select the right professors according to your wish and your perception.
Okay. Next question. Do you know which are the universities in which IELTS is not mandatory? One more question with that. In NGUST, is it mandatory? Asking
Uh,
about a specific university.
right now, I cannot search and specifically answer the question. I think so. NTUST, I guess it's not mandatory. I think so. But
Okay.
I'm not very sure about it. And there are many universities still which doesn't IELTS or TOEFL, but those requirements exactly the program specific requirements. Some programs require IELTS or TOEFL or any English training certificate, and many programs doesn't require. So it's up to the departments to decide whether they need an IELTS or TOEFL or not. So you can go into individual departments requirements.
Okay. Next question about opportunity in education technology.
Education technology.
Yeah.
So I'm studying in National Tsinghua University in Taiwan. So in my university also have a small education department. So education technology is fine, but thing is that to practice you need to know the local language or that kind of things. So most of the coursework were designed for in Chinese here. So as in China and Taiwan, most of even PhD students write their PhD thesis in Chinese. So the courses were designed in Chinese, and they are coming slowly into fully English courses. So I think it will be a little difficult to join for the specific course in education, so that you have to talk or mingle with or practice to the school students. So a little bit difficult, but I think it's possible.
Okay. Next one is very interesting question. How much is the average monthly expense for a PhD student?
Monthly average expense for a PhD student. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm a PhD student. I joined Taiwan. I came to Taiwan 6 years ago. My average expense is like I have a single dormitory room, like shared. Two people share a dormitory room. So the rent is around 3,500 New Taiwan dollars, which is around 8 to 9,000 in Indian money. And my insurance cost is around 5,000 NT dollars per semester, and my tuition fee is 33,500 per semester. So all these things collected together, you have to pay. But the tuition fee can be waived if you have a scholarship from your university or some other sources. So this is the things. And for food, you'll have it will range from 4,000 to 10,000 New Taiwan dollars for food expenses.
Okay. Next question, like if there is a PhD opening, so many people will apply. So
Yes.
what is the criteria for sorting the applications? If you know something, you can share.
Oh, okay. That's a good question. As I have explained in my slides, the PhD criteria for the admission for PhD happens in two ways. Either your friend or somebody recommends you to the professor, he will see your resume, and if he's impressed, he will take you in. So the main thing is to impress your professors, like in a personal interview or something, and then your professor will put in a word for you. Okay. In that case, definitely you will get the admission. So in other case, when the university will sort out your applications, the departments will receive the resumes or applications. They will give a sorting, and they will giving a hierarchy depends upon the GPA or work experience or which field you have worked or the publications, all those things. So most probably, if you have a publication, you will have a better chance of getting an admission in the open system. Or if your professors recommend, you can get. So the main thing is to impress your professor if you are applying personally.
Okay, 2 3 questions got regarding the PhD in chemistry.
Oh, PhD in chemistry. Okay.
Yes, yeah.
So any specific questions or just
Not specific question. How can I apply for PhD in chemistry and what about the opportunities?
for the opportunities? Okay. So in chemistry, chemistry department is actually very well developed. So if somebody asks me why I came to Taiwan, I would say that regarding the research funding and research exposure and the a variety of fields are there in chemistry, chemical engineering, and material science, and all these three are regarded as chemistry as when if you go out back to India or industrial sectors. So if you want to join chemistry department, there are many professors, many fields like inorganic chemistry, organic chemistry, different kinds of material science, polymer science, small sort of biomedical research happening on in chemistry department. So all these things are there. So if you have a research aptitude, if you have some work experience, or if you worked as a project assistant in some national research institute, so it will be very easy for you to apply. So you'll have to write a study plan and submit it or send personally apply to professors. So chemistry department in Taiwanese universities like NTU, NTHU, and NCTU are pretty well developed.
Okay. Next question is any scholarship available for MSc nursing?
MSc nursing.
Yes, yeah.
I would like to say that Chinese is the spoken language in Taiwan. So I would like to remember when I came to Taiwan, the first time I went to supermarket, I lost my way. So I was trying to ask people how to go back to my university, and it was pretty much difficult. So that was 6 years before. So people didn't know much English those times. But now actually the situation has changed, and even if you go to market and if you don't know Chinese, also you can manage. So the difference is Taiwan was basically a Chinese-speaking country. Everything was in Chinese. Legal documents was in Chinese, and even the coursework were in Chinese. So people can submit their master's thesis and even PhD thesis in Chinese. So if you are joining for a master's in nursing, the language will be a big barrier right now. Maybe after 5 or 10 years, it will be fine. So right now, language will be a big barrier. So I don't suggest to join here. And scholarships, actually, we don't have much idea. But MSc nursing, in practical sense, I don't suggest.
Okay. What about the postdoc opportunities in the area of solar energy?
Solar energy. I think you will be talking about dye-sensitized solar cells or perovskite kind of solar cells. National Tsinghua University, National Taiwan University, and National Chaotong University. These three universities have people from Kerala and people from India doing their research in solar cells. Actually, they are pretty well developed. So if you can contact those people, we can get a better guidance in those cases.
Okay, thank you, Freedom. Next question is very interesting actually. I am 42 years old. I am working in IT field. I am interested to pursue a master's degree in AI, artificial intelligence, data science or cyber security. Hence, I am looking for viable options. Please give your suggestion or opinion.
So I would like to say that Taiwan actually there is no age barrier for PhD students. So if he's an IT professional completed his masters, he can join some company in Taiwan and do a part-time PhD, which is possible if the company sponsors him. Otherwise, he can freshly apply as a PhD student in these corresponding fields in which like the AI or data science are receiving much higher funding than all those other fields. Even the normal fields have seen some cut down in their funding, where the AI and data science have received much higher attention in recent years.
Okay. I have completed BE in mechatronics. I am interested to do masters or MBA. Can I get the details?
So masters in mechatronics can be done because here actually the mechanical engineering, electronics and robotics groups are very much active. So you can join in any universities in Taiwan. You can select the universities depending upon your professional preference or the professors. And doing the MBA, I think there will be many questions regarding masters in doing an MBA. So MBA is open to admissions here. MBA in many fields are available. So most people take MBA in international relations or international management, international business management. So which is IMBA. So these courses in my university, the admissions are only in for fall semester, which start the spring semester beginning, like February. The admissions will start. Like the application time will start. The admissions will be in September, I think. So these departments are well known, and many of the people who have done these MBAs have been placed in Taiwan. So
Okay, next question. Could you please explain PhD opportunities in photochemistry?
photochemistry.
Yes.
Photochemistry. So I think I am a chemist myself. I'm doing my PhD in chemistry. So basically, I'm an organometallic chemist, but I have a little exposure in photochemistry when I was doing some project in Cochin University of Science and Technology. So photochemistry combines both organic synthesis and photochemical reactions. So this research in my university, I don't there are many professors who do pure organic synthesis. And if you are interested, you can approach those professors who give the freedom to do photochemistry as your research project. So it's possible. So the photochemical reaction is actually photochemistry is actually part of organic synthesis. So it comes under.
Okay. Next question. Any scope for doing MSc in geology or geography in Taiwan?
Geography, we are not sure, but geology, we have an Indian student who is doing PhD in Academia Sinica. So in geology, much higher studies are available. So they can do masters or PhD in geology in NTU or Academia Sinica connected. Yeah.
Okay. Next question. Please explain about the PhD opportunities in ecology and environmental science and the scholarships available.
Scholarships actually doesn't depend much on the department or the field of study. It depends upon your professor, your excellence, or your publications, your marks, and everything. So ecology and environmental science are those departments are there in my university and many other universities. So they offer masters and PhD courses, and they have a pretty well established system here.
Okay. Okay. Next question. Is there any website which updates about the available PhD positions?
In Taiwan, actually, PhD position. No, I would like to say that there are no available PhD positions so far. It's like if your professor have enough funding, he can take any number of students in his group and guide them. That's it. So if it completely depend upon your professor's funding. Some professors will personally say their PhD students that there are some opportunities available, or like some professors having enough opportunities will say to other professors or advertise them. And when students apply to universities, they will take in the students and then allot to different professors. So all these things happen. So there is nothing like an available PhD position in Taiwan. You can apply to universities or professors in personal, but there are like some slots available, depends on the funding, which the professors will inform their students in many cases. Yeah.
Okay. Next question is very interesting. What are the main challenges of studying in Taiwan?
Main challenges of studying in Taiwan. Okay,
Yes.
that's a tricky question. So I'm here for 6 years. 6 years. I think I am saying that in too many times. So 6 years, I felt like Taiwan people are very friendly, but if you want to travel extensively or explore Taiwan, you should know a little bit of Chinese, which you will be learning in your first year. And food is actually a little bit difficult. Food. Yeah. Studying is like if you have to survive, you need food. So the dormitories is just living place. You will have to find your own food, or you can cook in some dormitories, but most of the dormitories doesn't allow cooking. So food is an issue. And the next thing is Asian professors are much more expecting than like the normal things happening in the field. So sometimes your professors can be pretty much like strict or expecting. So you'll have to work harder than like experienced in India. So that's one more thing. And funding actually depends on your professor. So if your professor pays you good, like your salary will be like that. So you'll have to think twice on joining a professor who gives you low amount of salary. And sometimes the PhD, how to say, duration can be a little bit longer. So there is stipulated time for 7 years, 4 to 7 years, and depending upon your professor and your research field can be a little bit longer. And even masters actually 2 years or 2 to 4 years is the stipulated time. So 2 years if you are pretty well everything is fine, and if your project is not going so well, so your masters can even be 4 years. So those things have to be considered when you select a lab or even select Taiwan as a like place of study.
Okay. I think PhD criteria also will change with professor to professor, right?
Yeah, PhD graduation criteria also change from professor to professor. So some professors, if you are somewhat okay, they will like kind of graduate kick you out in 3.5 to 4 years. Some professors will hold you until they have their targets achieved. And from department to department, the graduation requirements also differ. So it's like some department require you two first author papers, or even some department require one first author paper, or some departments like the requirements is like 3.5 impact factor or 4 impact factor of all your papers collected together. So depending upon departments, the requirements may vary.
Okay. The next question is like, is it possible to get PhD admission in physics even without research exposure and publication?
Without research exposure, getting a PhD application in physics is if you're a fresher, it will be fine. You will have to make a study plan which looks pretty good. You have to impress your professor and apply by direct. Or if you have a high GPA or high CGPA, you can apply to the university as well. But if you have a research experience and if you have some kind of small publication or like big publication, of course, small publication, it will be pretty much easier to secure an admission.
Okay. The next question is, how much is the postdoc salary per month?
Postdoc salary is like slightly variable in according to your project plans, but it is somewhere around 50,000 to 60,000 NT
Okay.
dollars. Yeah, 50,000 to 60,000 NT dollars.
You can please tell in INR also, and that will be helpful.
Okay. INR is like one INR is around 2.6. Yeah, 2.6 right now.
Yeah, it's 2.6. Uh, Next question. Actually, please explain more about Masters in Engineering and the Postmasters opportunities.
Engineering, masters in engineering.
Yes.
So we have many students who are doing their masters in engineering in various, like most of the students are doing in science and engineering fields in Taiwan. So arts and humanities subjects, we don't have much people doing, like foreign people doing, not foreign, Indian people doing arts and humanities subjects here. But most of the people are doing their masters and PhD in science and engineering. So many options are available, many departments are there, many fields are there. You can apply them, and if your Chinese is somewhat good, or at least your spoken Chinese is somewhat good, you can get some job opportunities too.
Okay. Actually, next one is very crucial question. Like, is it good or bad for depending consultancy or institution for admission?
Oh, one more time.
Consultancy or institutions, like they are meaning the agents. If they are approaching
Okay.
agents for admission.
I got the question. So
Yeah.
the consultancies or institutions. Okay. For admission, I'm saying about admissions actually.
For admission, yeah.
Taiwanese universities doesn't give any authorizations to universities to completely do their admission. Actually, the admission procedure is done by each university themselves. So I think it's not a good idea to apply some consultancies for your admission and pay a big sum. But sometimes you can get like if somebody is running some consultancy is running a webinar and telling you the details, that's fine. Otherwise, I don't recommend going to consultancies. Actually, you don't require much money to apply here. So why you have to pay the consultancies a big sum? So in many cases, Thailand, Sri Lankan people, I think Thailand and Sri Lankan people was trapped and brought here, saying that you can get a student visa in Taiwan, then you can do a job here, you can just save money and you can go back. But it's not in the case. Actually, the the student visa is only for study purpose. Maybe you'll get a work permit to work, but that is a habit for a short time, like a regulated hours, like 48 hours per week or something like that. So you cannot work for a long time. So if you are working more, you cannot concentrate on study. And if you doesn't qualify your program requirement, you will be kind of kicked out of the institution, which means cancellation of your student visa and you'll be kicked out of your country, like kicked out of Taiwan. So I don't think it's a like good idea to spend much money for admissions. You can just apply to universities and get it done.
Okay, thank you. Actually, I think we can conclude this section here. Actually, still many questions are remaining to answer.
Okay, so we can make a short video addressing those questions and post it in the same channel here so that people can watch it later. So we also can have a thorough go on this one, and we have a short versions of the answers as a video.
Okay, Mr. Freddy Francis, thank you very much for your presentation and giving good answers for the questions. Thank you, Freddy, once again.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Next session is moderating by Dr. Anok. Now I am welcoming Dr. Anok for handling the next section. Thank you very much. Welcome, Dr. Anok.
Thank you, Sujit, for your introduction, and good evening all, and thank you for spending some time with us today. Welcome to the second session of today's webinar, hosted by Taiwan Malayali Association in associating with Sacred College, Tevara, and educational consultant and career counselor Mendes for you, and myself, Anok. Let me introduce you the webinar structure. I think already Sujit has explained, but once again, I wish to say. The speech is designed for 20 minutes PowerPoint presentation, and 10 minutes after starting the talk, you can enter the questions or doubts at the comment section of the live streaming. Once the talk has been finished, there will be a question and answer section for another 30 minutes. If our discussion is going beyond 30 minutes, we will stop then and we'll do a separate video for the unaddressed questions and telecast soon. For today's second webinar, the topic is interdisciplinary biomedical research in Taiwan. As we know, the complexities of healthcare systems have been increasing day by day, so it is necessary to adopt scientific and technological innovations from interdisciplinary collaborations that is very relevant for the rapid development of biomedical research. So, the demands for experienced biomedical researchers are very high, and this presentation discusses the opportunities or advantages in doing biomedical research in Taiwan. And today, our speaker is Dr. Gilles Joss. He is working as the postdoctoral research fellow in the Department of Chemical and Material Engineering at the Chang'an University, Taiwan. He holds a PhD in chemical engineering from the same university. And now I would like to welcome Dr. Gilles Joss for the presentation.
Good evening, all, and welcome to my presentation. First of all, I would like to thank Dr. Anok for introducing me to the audience. And as he mentioned in his introduction, today I'm going to talk to you all about interdisciplinary biomedical research in Taiwan. As we all know, today the whole world is going through a very difficult situation, and the people, especially the healthcare professionals as well as the researchers, are doing their best to save this world. If we go through the developments of past few decades, we can see a tremendous breakthrough in healthcare and biomedical sector, which makes us more curious about the biomedical research. And this presentation focuses mainly on biomedical research opportunities in Taiwan. So before moving to the key parts of this topic, I would like to make a clarification regarding the multidisciplinary and interdisciplinary research, especially the interdisciplinary and multidisciplinary biomedical research. In general, both multidisciplinary and interdisciplinary research uses the ideas or the informations from different disciplines. But in case of the multidisciplinary research, although the people from different disciplines are sharing their research goals and working to solve the same problem, they look at it from their own discipline's perspective. On the other hand, in case of interdisciplinary research, the team of different researchers from different disciplines integrates informations, data, techniques, and ideas for the fundamental understanding to solve the problems where the solutions are beyond the scope of their single discipline. And when it comes to the interdisciplinary biomedical research, traditionally, the researchers perform the biomedical research with their departmental boundaries. However, as we are witnessing so many technological developments in the recent years, we need to rely on different disciplines. So sometimes, like some researchers may be able to explain the role of targeting ligand on the cancer targeting, but sometimes he may not be able to explain how a nanoparticle is interacting with the cell surface. So in this way, maybe sometimes the researchers are not able to answer all the questions, and as a result, sometimes we need to depend on different disciplines. So we can say that if you wanted to complete a biomedical research, you need to depend different disciplines like applied chemistry, life science, engineering, computer science, or applied mathematics to carry out a successful biomedical research. So the interdisciplinary biomedical research is divided into different sub-areas. This includes biomedical devices, sensors and systems, photonics, nanoscience and quantum technology, nanotechnology and NEMS or MEMS, then the medical imaging, and information theory and application. The first category, the biomedical devices, sensors, and system, refers to any device that can be used to measure or to alter the biological properties of a living system. And the second category, the photonics, nanoscience, and quantum technology, it refers to the materials or devices that can be investigated using the light and electromagnetism. And nanotechnological systems, as well as nano or micro electromechanical systems, is also used for a wide variety of biomedical applications. And the next category is the imaging systems. And the imaging technologies are used for various biomedical applications, ranging from the microscopy to the whole body imaging. And finally, the core topic of information theory, including the efficient storage, compression, and transmission of informations, applies to a wide range of domains such as communications, genomics, neuroscience, and statistics. So now let us come to the biomedical and healthcare sector in Taiwan. Taiwan's healthcare system is one of the best healthcare systems in the world and ranked one according to the Business Magazine report 2019. In addition to this one, Taiwan is reporting so many interesting news recently that represents the growth of Taiwan's biomedical industries. And recently, Taiwan have inaugurated a biomedical experiment center to perform testing and trials of new medical devices. This indicates that the converting rate of the research outputs into a product level is increasing in Taiwan, and that is the reason why the government is forced to inaugurate this kind of a center, which makes the testing procedures more easy. And the development or the interesting news from Taiwan is not limited only to these kind of innovations, but in addition, we can see so many new research outputs that obtained as a result of the collaborative work between the universities, hospitals, and the industries. So here, as shown in this slide, you can see that to make the surgical procedures easier, or to understand or to identify the possibilities for the cancer, so different techniques are developed. Taiwan is developing, the Taiwanese researchers are developing different techniques which can be beneficial to the whole world. And all these innovations or all this output represents that the Taiwan's biomedical research is growing very quickly. And as I mentioned, it is not limited to these kind of developments, but in addition, we can see some reports on the biomaterials. The first biomaterial from Taiwan that participated in NASA's project. That is the world's first biomaterial that participated in NASA's space project. And that is also shows how fast is the Taiwan's development. And as we all have noticed in the newspapers recently, during the coronavirus situation, Taiwan did their best to overcome this pandemic situation, the coronavirus situation. They tried their best to develop the antibodies or to develop the vaccines in collaborations with different pharmaceutical industries such as Adimmune Corporations, Medigen Vaccine Biologics, and United Biomedicals. And the report shows that the Taiwan's Food and Drug Administration gave the permission to perform the phase 2 trials for these COVID vaccines. And Taiwan's biomedical industries are divided into 4 different categories. The first category is applied biotechnology, and which aims mainly on agriculture, food, specialty chemicals, and so on. And the second category is pharmaceuticals. Like these pharmaceutical industries deals with the small molecule drugs, or the biologics, or some active pharmaceutical ingredients. And the next category is medical devices. That stands for the in vitro diagnosis, the diagnosis or the whole body diagnosis, or the monitoring of the body functions. And finally, the healthcare industry, that stands for the healthcare services or healthcare promotion. And the interesting thing is that all these four categories are showing very high outputs according to all the reports that we can see find in our research outputs. And now the next question is how Taiwan is able to produce this kind of extraordinary research. And this answer is very simple, that we have all the equipmental facilities. So if you go to any research centers in Taiwan, it is very easy to say that we can find almost all the equipmental facilities that is required to complete a biomedical research in a very productive way. And here I have included some of the instrument facilities that is commonly available in almost all the research centers. So in addition to that, this kind of instrument facilities, we have a well-equipped laboratory facilities in order to perform the material preparation or the material characterizations, or to perform the in vitro experiments as well. And in case of biomedical research, one key thing is that we need to perform some animal experiments in order to complete a biomedical research. So the facilities to perform the animal experiment is a key factor that determines the success of a biomedical research. And here I have included some of the images of the animal center facilities, and this is the images. This images is from the Animal Center from Chang'an University, which have the accreditation from the Association of Assessment and Accreditation of Laboratory Animal Care. So which is a world-renowned accreditation for the animal laboratory facilities. And now I would like to introduce some of the universities in Taiwan that have a well-established biomedical research facilities. So the Taipei Medical University as well as the Chang'an University, these two universities are very famous for the biomedical research in Taiwan. So it is very interesting to know that the ranking of these two universities are below 500 according to the QS World Ranking. And in addition to this, we have the National Taiwan University, which is the university that ranked 1 in Taiwan's according to Taiwan's ranking system, and which ranked around 66 according to the QS World Ranking system. And in addition to these universities, we have the National Tsinghua University, National Chenkong University, as well as National Yangming University that have a well-established biomedical research centers where you can perform all kind of animal experiments or any kind of biomedical research. And as shown here, the QS World Ranking of all these universities are below 300. So as I mentioned, we have many universities in Taiwan that ranks below 500 and that have many better research opportunities, especially the biomedical research opportunities. And it is very interesting to note that it is the research facilities are not limited only to this kind of universities. In addition, we have a well-established national some research institutes like National Health Research Institute or the Academia Sinica, or some research centers that having the biomedical research centers. And the National Health Research Institute is one of the best research center in Taiwan that provides a huge fundings, especially for the promotion of biomedical research. And all these research centers and the hospital research centers are giving very interesting outputs from their research. And it is very interesting to know that here most of the hospitals are promoting research in addition to their clinical facilities. And as a result, most of the doctors who is working in this hospital are working in collaboration with many universities so that they can continue their research along with their clinical practice. So most of the students who is working in the biomedical field are getting support from these clinical doctors so that we can perform all the experiments in a better way. And especially when you think about the animal experiment facilities, it is very interesting that most of these doctors who are in collaboration with your advisors are ready to perform any complicated surgery. So it is possible that we can perform any complicated procedures to get a best outcome from this research. So as a summary, I would like to say that Taiwan is like we can consider it's like a research hub. So especially for the biomedical research, because we have all the facilities to get a very good outcome, especially in this field. So here I would like to say that those who are very interested to continue their studies in biomedical research, whether they are from the biomedical background or from the molecular biology background, they can approach these universities, or they can utilize these university facilities, so that we can work together to get a better outcome for the success of the future world. And here I have included some of the links that I have mentioned in this presentation. So I think this will be very useful for most of these people who are interested to find more details regarding the things that I have mentioned here. You can go through these links. This includes the links for different universities or some research centers or some interesting news, so that you can follow this link, so that you can find more information for to make a decision, like whether you wanted to do some studies here or you wanted to do some work here. So it will be very beneficial for almost all the people, those who are interested in this field. And that is the completion of this presentation. So thank you so much for giving attention for my presentation.
Thank you, Dr. Gilles, for the nice presentation. Now it's time for question and answer section. And since it is a very interdisciplinary area, there is not that much questions. And we have received a few questions during the registration. And the first one is, I'm not from molecular biology or biomedical background. Can I apply for a PhD in biomedical engineering?
Thank you for this question, and I think the answer is yes, because I mentioned this is an interdisciplinary program which uses different disciplines, ideas, and the facilities. So it is not necessary to be a biomedical graduate or the molecular medicine from a molecular medicine background in order to get an admission for this research in biomedical research, especially the interdisciplinary biomedical research program. So you can apply for this program, so that you can use your ideas and you can combine it with the research facilities that the ideas from the research group where you are joining, so that you can get a better result for the future.
Okay, another one is, what are the advantages in doing biomedical research in Taiwan compared to India? It's just a comparison between India and Taiwan. What are the advantages?
Okay. I'm not very sure how correct is my answer, but definitely I can say that the primary advantage is the technical facilities that is available in Taiwan. Especially whenever you wanted to do any kind of experiment, we have all the facilities to perform all the characterizations or to perform any experiment. So that is the primary advantage. And in addition, I have mentioned we have the collaboration with the many hospitals. So as a result, if you wanted to get any kind of guidance, some clinical doctors are available, and they are even ready to perform the clinical surgical procedures, so that you can perform any complicated experiments. So that is the major advantage that I can find when you are doing some biomedical research in Taiwan. So I think maybe India also have some facilities, but I don't think that is up to the facilities that is available in Taiwan, whether it is in terms of the technical facilities or the collaborations and all. So I think that is the major advantage.
I think the answer is clear. And The another one is, if I get a chance to do PhD in Taiwan, should I need to design my own project?
Um, I think this is not only limited to the biomedical research, but I can say that when you join for a PhD program in Taiwan, it is not that necessary to uh, give a proposal, or it is not that necessary to work according to your own idea. Usually, when you join in a lab, that professor may have some research projects or some research interest. So you need to follow the interest of that professor's laboratory facilities. So it is not that uh, sure that you need to have an idea on what you are going to do, but if you have a clear idea on or some clear interest on your future research, definitely you can give a proposal to your professor, and if that professor is also interested on that, definitely you can continue your PhD work in that project. But it is not that necessary to have a project proposal if you wanted to join in Taiwan.
Yeah, and one addition is that, as our previous speaker, Mr. Freddy told, during the application of a PhD, if you write a project proposal or research plan, it will help you to get a more probability to get admission. Okay, I think the last question is, other than postdoctoral research, what else are other opportunities in Taiwan after PhD? I mean, in biomedical field.
Okay. Yeah, the answer is yes, because as I mentioned in the presentation, the Taiwan's biomedical research or the biomedical industries are growing very quickly, and we have all the facilities to do all kind of experiments or to perform any kind of analysis. So, and the other thing is that after the research, like when you perform the research, the possibility to convert this research into product level is too high in Taiwan. So as a research, the people are getting more and more opportunities to work in Taiwan, especially some biomedical industries. So I have mentioned the names of some of the biomedical industries, some famous biomedical industries like Acron Biomedicals or the Medigen Vaccine Biologics, Adimune Corporations or United Biomedicals. These all are the world class biomedical industries in Taiwan. Like that, we have plenty of biomedical industries where you can get a position to work with that group. But I have to add one thing, that if you're asking about after getting a PhD from India, and if you wanted to directly apply for a job other than postdoctoral fellowship in Taiwan, I think it's not that easy to get a position, because most of the industries in Taiwan is not recruiting people directly from India. So it will be, I will not say that it is not possible, but I think as of my knowledge, it is not that easy to get a position or the direct recruitment from India to here. Most of the people who completed their studies from Taiwan, they can easily approach these companies, and they are getting good positions in Taiwan. So that is what I know actually right now.
And we have one question. I think its answer is already Freddy had told.
Okay.
The question is, can you explain the admission procedure regarding PhD in biomedical engineering in Taiwan?
Actually, the admission procedure is similar to any other disciplines or any other departments in Taiwan. So the Freddy gave a detailed description regarding the admission procedures. So usually we used to find an advisor, or you need to follow up some admission procedures. So I think it is the Freddy gave a detailed description regarding this question. So you can just go back to the the initial timings of this presentation, so that you can get a detailed information regarding this one. But for simply, it is like you need to do some once the university is inviting applications, you can give the applications. Then you need to show some financial support, financial background certificates, and then you need to find a professor. So these are the basic procedures. So I think it's not necessary to explain all this thing one more time, because we have mentioned this in detail in the previous presentation.
Okay, and one more question, but I think it's already explained in before presentation. will you please explain how much fee will be for a year in rupees?
You mean like the tuition fee and all, right?
I think tuition fee. Fee means, yeah, tuition fee should be tuition fee.
Okay. So this is also we have discussed in the previous section, but I can say that the tuition fee, like if you are getting a scholarship to study in Taiwan, you will get the tuition fee waiver. So no need to worry about the tuition fee. And if you are not getting tuition fee, maybe you need to pay the tuition fee that will come around approximately 1 lakh per semester. I mean, yeah, almost 90,000 or 1 lakh per semester. And in addition to this tuition fee, you need to pay like every student, like whether you are getting the scholarship or you are not getting the scholarship, you need to pay the hostel accommodation fee as well as the insurance fee, and that will be like approximately around maybe like 5,000 or 6,000 Indian rupees per month, and the insurance fee will come around 10,000, approximately 10,000 Indian rupees for a semester. So that is the major thing. But if you consider some of the universities, the scholarship is they are getting the tuition fee waiver and they are getting free accommodation also. In that case, you need to pay only the insurance fee like when you join for the course. So that's it. I think that's it.
Okay, and some questions are coming, like career after MTech in structural engineering. So we will have another talks, especially for engineering profession in coming weeks. So please follow, please listen for that live streaming like this in the future. You'll get more idea about that kind of question and answers. And since this kind of questions are not relevant for this topic, I'm not asking. And I think that's it for all the questions. And thank you, Gilles, for the nice presentation and question answer section. And
Thank you, Anok, and thank you all.
If you wish to learn more about the topic, please feel free to email us. Let us wind up for now. And thank you once again for attending the webinar.